Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about The Lobster, and this movie is directed by Yorgos Lanthimos, and it came out in 2015, starring Colin Farrell and Rachel Weisz, Olivia Colman, John C. Reilly, and I thought this movie was pretty fantastic. I've seen this movie once before, I loved it back then, and I love it just as much as I did back then, and I love the world that this movie is set in, and there's a lot of rules, and it's very dystopian, and it's like a dystopian science fiction, dark comedy, drama. There's a lot of elements that it's mixing, and I feel as though it does it in a way that works very well, and the performances are really great. I love Colin Farrell. Yeah, Colin Farrell. I keep wanting to say Colin Firth for some reason. Colin Farrell. I think he does a really great job in this movie, and he delivers his lines like almost in the exact same voice. Like he's speaking in a very mannered way, in a sense. But I feel as though that adds to the comedy because every character talks like that, and I also feel as though that's part of the director's style because he likes to have very dry humor in his movies. And I also love Rachel Weisz in the movie as well. And instead of Colin Farrell being the narrator for the movie, because there is narration, it's actually Rachel Weisz. And I like that choice. It was different from what I was expecting. Like it kind of subverts expectations in a sense because since it's not our main character narrating, you don't know what's going to happen to him. I feel as though that's an interesting choice and something that feels like a bit different. And although we've had movies that have like people narrating over the film that you don't necessarily see, like a nameless narrator, like that's been done before, but at the very least, it didn't feel like it was derivative or not unoriginal, if that makes sense. Like it had an understanding of what it wanted to communicate, and I feel as though it was done so successfully. I also think the movie looks excellent. It's very well shot, and there's lots of memorable sequences in this film, and the romance element I really like as well. And you don't get that throughout the entire film, but when you do get it, I like where they go with it. And just about everything in this movie works. And I thought the music was great. However, my only two criticisms with the movie is just things that I feel were overused. And one of those was the music. It was just the main theme that was being used a couple too many times for my liking. And I felt as though if they held back from using it just like maybe 2 times, I feel as though the movie would have been much better for me. And also another thing that was overused in this film that I don't remember happening in Yorgos's other films. There's a lot of slow motion in this movie. Luckily, there's no artificial slowing down where you just have less frames, but there's slow motion in this movie, and I feel as though that was overused, and it got a bit irritating for me. And going back to positives, one thing that I really like about the movie is that most of these characters don't even have names, really. Like, they don't say their name, really, and you just go along with it. And I feel as though that adds to the film because the characters don't really care all too much, and the story doesn't really care all too much. And I feel as though that was an intentional choice, and that just adds to the world that this movie is set in. Like, it doesn't even matter who you are. It's what you do. Like, did you complete your assignment? Do you follow the rules? And nothing else matters. And without spoiling anything, there's like tiny little details added in to the story that make it a bit better upon multiple viewings. And this is not a film where you need to watch it multiple times to enjoy it. You can just watch it once and be like, oh, that was a good movie. But if you were to watch it multiple times and understand what the movie is going for, then I feel as though you'll get more out of it. Like, it has something to chew on underneath the surface, and that's what I got from this movie, and I loved it. It was an amazing film from Yorgos Lanthimos. Not as good as Poor Things, but still pretty great. I like it better than The Favorite, and I'll have to check out his earlier films. And I thought he only did like one movie before this, and that was Dogtooth, but apparently he had like 3 or 4 other films that I haven't seen yet. So I'll get around to those movies at some point, but as of right now, this is one of my favorites. I need to revisit The Killing of a Sacred Deer. I thought that was really great. That might be my second favorite, but anyways, getting a little off track. The Lobster, check it out for sure if you like Yorgos Lanthimos. I would recommend starting with The Favorite because that's the least weird out of his films, or like non-traditional. It's a bit more of a straightforward narrative. And after you watch that, you can watch his other movies because those are a bit more crazy. But for sure, give this a watch. And with all that being said, I'm going to give The Lobster a 9 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of The Lobster, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Shivers. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.